Okay, we're moving on to the second paragraph, but first, let's go over the first one again. I have known Doron for about 11 years. He moved to Ma'ale Adumim 10 years ago, but I had met him about a year before that. When I met him, he had been looking for a house here for about 6 months and was getting pretty desperate. If you have ever looked for a house for a long time, you may know the feeling. I have another friend called Michael who is looking for a house at the moment, and he hates every moment of it. Okay, next couple of paragraphs. Anyway, I tell you how I met Doron. It be about 11 years ago, and I sit at home reading a newspaper when someone knock at the door. I open it and see a young couple standing there. "Hello," I say, as politely as I could. "What can I do for you?" "We look for a house to buy in this area," the woman answered, "and we think that since you live here, you may be able to help us." Anyway, I tell you how I met Doron. This is the past. Now, did I tell you, or was I telling you? Is it an action that I did, or is it an action that I was in the middle of doing? Have you guessed? Yeah, it's an action that I was in the middle of doing. Past progressive. I was in the middle of telling you how I met Doron, then suddenly I began to talk about Michael, and now I'm going back to Doron. I was in the middle of telling you, I was telling you how I met Doron. It be about 11 years ago. Okay, the verb be. What do we remember? In the present, am, is, and are. In the past, was and were. It was about 11 years ago, and I sit at home reading a newspaper. Okay, here's the question. I sit at home. Is it an action that I did, or is it an action that I was in the middle of doing? Is it past simple, or is it past progressive? Yeah, past progressive. It's an action that I was in the middle of doing. I had begun sitting, I hadn't finished sitting, I was in the middle of sitting when it happened. I was sitting at home, reading a newspaper, when someone knocked at the door. Okay, someone knock. Is it an action that happened, past simple, or an action that was in the middle of happening? You're right. Past simple. Someone knocked. An action that happened. Someone knocked at the door. I open it. It happened, or it was in the middle of happening? Did I open, or was I in the middle of opening? Yeah, I opened. I opened it and see a young couple standing there. Okay, see is easy. See is a stative verb, and we said stative verbs are always simple. I saw a young couple standing there. Past simple. S-A-W. "Hello," I say, as politely as I could. "What can I do for you?" Okay, did I say, or was I in the middle of saying? Past simple or past progressive? You're right again. Past simple. It's an action that I did. "Hello," I said, as politely as I could. "What can I do for you?" "We look for a house to buy in this area," the woman answered. We look. Now, there are a few possibilities here. One possibility is present progressive. We are looking. It's an action we are in the middle of doing now. We are looking. We began looking. We haven't finished looking. We're in the middle of looking. That's one possibility. Another possibility is present perfect progressive. Why? So I'm talking about an action that began and is still carrying on. We have been looking for a house in this area. They're both right. Depends what she said. The woman answer. Okay, another easy one. Did she answer, or was she in the middle of answering? Past simple or past progressive? Yep, she answered. an action that happened. The woman answered, and we think that since you live here, you may be able to help us. We think. Well, it's in the past. They're not thinking now. It's what happened. But here's the question. Is it an action that happened or an action that was in the middle of happening? Past simple or past progressive? Yeah, past simple. We thought. T-H-O-U-G-H-T. That since you live here, you may be able to help us. Okay, you live. Well, it's present, isn't it? The question is it present simple or present progressive? Is it an action that I do generally or an action that I'm in the middle of doing now? Okay, when I talk about where I live, usually I talk about where I lived yesterday, where I live today, and where I'm planning to live tomorrow. It's a general action. So normally it will be simple. Here it will be simple. We thought that since you live here, you may be able to help us.